What is up, everyone? Back again for a little 2020. It's been a while. I mean, it's been like a little bit, huh? I think January is the last time we did a 2020. This year is so weird. Like I literally went on this last tournament in Oklahoma, and like I was like almost went looking for sight fish, like because in my brain it's like February or March. The heat out there was not February or March, FYI. It was like one step from Sahara Desert. I mean, my sweat was sweating, okay? It was hot. It was really hot. But I mean, seriously, this year has been such up and down roller coaster, not only from just the sponsorship world of things, the business world of things, the tournaments being postponed. We don't really know what's happening, uptick in viruses, states maybe shutting down again. It's out of control. So this year is like almost like there's going to be like an asterisk beside it because I don't even know if we're going to be able to finish the year, to be honest with you. But that being said, this 2020 right here is all about Muskogee, Oklahoma, Arkansas River, kind of what I did right, what I did wrong. It was a roller coaster, like literally a roller coaster, like one of those really scary ones because day one fish. Day two, come back with a big bag. So I'm going to talk all about that. I'm going to talk about the decisions, kind of what was in my head, what was in my heart, what I did, what I didn't do right, you know, just kind of those things. But before we get into that, I want to first thank you so much for all of the views you guys have been giving us on the channel, all the shares, and all the subscriptions, okay? You guys have been subscribing like crazy, so thank you so much for all that. Also wanted to jump into a couple little housekeeping things. Number one is we are looking for more co-anglers on the Bass Open Tour. With everything, with the schedule being abbreviated this year, Bass is looking for some more co-anglers because people couldn't take off work, you know, whatever. So there's some spots available if you want to jump in the boat with one of us during the tournament. It's a great chance to hang out, learn, experience, and win some money. So be sure to check out Bassmaster.com. We'll drop a link down below. Check it out, and be sure to let them know when you call that I sent you. You're calling because you saw it here. That would be awesome. So our next tournament is up in New York. Hopefully that's going to go off, and we're looking forward to that. The other thing is, I have some little giveaways. So on the last video, the one that just dropped, where it showed how I fished, where I finished, all that good stuff, I decided to, because there were so many great comments, I thought, you know, how can I give back? Everybody dropping comments like crazy. I love it so much. And I thought, hey, here's what I'll do. I'm going to pick 3 people from the previous video that dropped comments, and I'm going to send them an SMC hat, either one of the camouflage hats or one of the black and whites. And I'm going to name off these 3 people, and all you got to do is DM me either on YouTube or drop a comment on Instagram if you have that as well. So first one, again, thank you for, don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. Just because you dropped a comment, I'm giving you some love back. So Kenny Sampson. Kenny Sampson is the first winner of an SMC hat, and his comment to me, which I thought was great, tournament on the Potomac a couple weeks ago, size limit was 15 inches, caught 14 3/4 inch fish all day long. That is the worst, right? That was kind of like on day one. I caught like 6 or 7 shorts. So for that, my friend Kenny, you're going to get a hat. So I hate that you had to go through that, but you get a hat at the same time. So thank you for dropping that awesome comment. So the second person to win a hat is Jeff Omart. And he says, Scott Martin, the energized fisherman. He keeps fishing and fishing and fishing. Thanks for the great videos. And I hope you don't get caught in the crossfire when Billy strikes back. He's sharing the video. So thank you so much, Jeff, for sharing the video. And yes, I think Billy's going to have a whole bunch of tricks up his sleeve for the next tournament for sure. Because we did pick on him kind of right on the edge of too much, right? But thank you so much for your comment and your share. Last person to win a hat is ZeroBot. ZeroBot. That's his name, ZeroBot. There will never, he's quoting Billy. This was funny because Billy's special. We all know Billy's special. Billy on day 2 gets up and says, there will never be another today. Make it count. Billy.
Today is today. There is no yesterday.
Yes.
Live in the now.
Yes.
Today's over. It's a new day. There will never be another today. Make it count. Bam!
Now, ZeroBot says we should make that into a shirt. He got 35 thumbs up on that, so I think we're going to do that. So be looking for a new shirt coming out on the merch channel as well. And also, speaking of merch, we're going to drop a link down below. Be sure to check out the hats and t-shirts for everything that we've got, TeamSMC. And if you tag us on Instagram, we will give you a little shout out in the stories on Instagram. Thank you so much for all that. And that is it. That is it on the little housekeeping things. Now we're going to get into what you're here for, and that's to find out kind of what was in my head. And I'm, to be honest with you, not real sure what was in my head, because that was like, my head's still hurting from that event, okay? So let's just break it down real quick. First of all, practice wasn't too bad, but I did notice it getting tougher every day. Every day that I went out, I felt like that bite was going away. Like I was in the grass, mostly throwing swim jigs and moving baits in the grass, and I just felt like that was going away. And I wasn't sure if it was because of pressure, maybe because of water level. I locked down into Kerr, and so did about 90 other people. About half the field locks down into Kerr. And Kerr is a very shallow water fishery. It's mainly, you have two ways of catching them, either on laydowns and stumps or shoreline grass. And I was targeting the shoreline grass, and again, in practice, wasn't too bad. I was swimming white jigs. I was actually swimming the Saucy Swimmer, which was really, really good. Even the last day of practice, I had probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 good bites on this. You can see it in the practice video. And just swimming that on a weedless hook like I do here on Okeechobee. But again, swim jigs were good, buzz baits, spinner baits, all that kind of stuff. But again, that bite was kind of going away a little bit. Well, the last 2 days of practice, I was feeling a little uncomfortable about it, so I spent a little bit of time up on the pool, the upper pool, and I wanted to find something kind of out of the way. So I went in this one creek, and I used my Panoptics to scan around out on this big flat, and I found a few stumps, found a few laydowns out submerged, right? And I got a few bites in those, and I thought to myself, this would be a good place to pull up late in the afternoon on the way back up if I have some extra time, make a long cast in there with a big Mondo worm and catch some fish. And so that was kind of my game plan. Day one, I decided to go down to Kerr, and we only had, now here's the crazy thing, so Kerr is like 25 miles, the lock's 25 miles from blast off, and then where I was fishing is another 20 something miles. So really I was running about 50 miles. Time you factor in the lock, and we had to be back at 11:45 to catch the lock. That was the only guaranteed lock time. And there's a lot of barge traffic on that river system. If you chance it and miss the lock and decide that you're going to try to just do the regular locking later, a barge could be in your way and you could not make it back. Matter of fact, that's what happened to a few people on day one. So I decided to just catch the scheduled lock time at 11:45. By the time I got down to the bottom end of Kerr to fish, it was about 8:30 every day. And so that's really not a lot of time, really about 3 hours. And, I got down there the first morning, and the first 2 grass beds that I stopped on, it was like nothing was happening. Like I didn't see bait flicking. There wasn't birds standing on the bank. And that's a really good tip for you guys. In the mornings, May and June, you've got a shad spawn kind of going on that time of the year. Fish are shallow still because they're just coming off the beds. They're feeding on bait, bluegill, the whole 9 yards. Birds and bait fish activity is key. And for whatever reason, on that first day of the tournament, I get down there to my first 2 grass beds, and it's just kind of dead. I don't hear anything. I don't see anything going on. And obviously, I'm not getting any bites. And that kind of put me in a little bit of a panic, right? I kind of got myself a little squirreled out because I'm like, man, I need to everything to go right. The first spot I pull up on, I need to catch a fish or 2. The second spot, a fish or 2. The third spot, a fish or 2. That way by 10 o'clock, I might be culling and I can work my way into a good bag. Well, all of a sudden, boom, it's 9:30 and I'm still stuck on nothing. Like nothing. I've caught a few shorts. Like everything's starting to kind of, in my mind, I'm getting panicked. And I'm counting down. Every time I look, I should have just turned my GPS off, time, put tape over it or something, and set my alarm to go off at like 11:05 so I can drive back to the lock. So I wasn't constantly looking at it, because it was in my head. The other thing that was in my head was that Castle 9 and Andrew Upshaw, they were down, they decided not to lock on the first day. They decided to stay up into that upper pool, into these couple creeks that actually had a few fish in them. And I was thinking man, I should have done that, because I was kind of toying and not locking. I was thinking maybe I should stay up in the upper pool day 1, catch everything I can because it's going to get beat up, and then lock down on day 2. And obviously I didn't do that, but in my mind I was thinking man, I made a mistake. And so not only was the time catching up to me, my thought that I made a mistake, and it was just spiraling out of control, and I just didn't get it done. Matter of fact, I only caught 1 keeper all day long, which was not good, right? I jumped off another one that was probably 2 pounds or so, but just fished fast, didn't fish right. So on day one, you know, it is what it is. I came in with one fish, 1 pound, 8 ounces. I didn't even look to see what place I was in, but definitely the very back of the pack, right? But it was tough across the board. I mean, Andrew didn't catch them. Castledine didn't catch them. I mean, no one in the house caught a limit. So it was a little encouraging thinking like, okay, well, I still made a bad decision. I still didn't do things right. But it wasn't that they were biting everywhere and I just completely fell apart. It's just like literally the bite was off. So I regrouped that night. I was pretty tough on myself. I didn't sleep much, got up the next morning early, and I remember getting Jacob to drive to the boat ramp. It's about a 45-minute car ride. And I literally like looked at my GPS on my phone, my satellite imagery, the entire way, just like scrolling through and like looking and just kind of in my mind visualizing catching fish and going here and going there. I was looking where laydowns were, and I was looking at where trees were. I was trying to see things on the map because in my mind I was like, that grass bite for me is kind of going away, and I felt like these fish might gravitate towards the laydowns or even some submerged stumps. So on day two, I decided to blast off, run down to the lock. I had a little extra time. I whipped into the little creek that I was going to start in on the upper pool. Caught like a 3-pounder right off the bat. And now I'm thinking like, should I stay? Should I go? Well, I ended up leaving. I said, look, I'm just going to go ahead and stick with the game plan. So I've got a 3-pounder in the live well, kind of a little bonus fish. And all I need to do now is go down there and catch 4 more good keepers and salvage the day. It's all about points, guys, right? I'm not going to win the tournament. This is kind of, I'm already past that. But I need to catch a good bag of fish and not bomb in this tournament. I can't finish 120th or something crazy like that, right? I need to finish in the top third of the tournament at least, or top quarter of the tournament. And, you know, because at the end of the year, they're going to take the top 4 from both divisions, or they're going to take the top 4 from the Eastern or the Central. So just, I don't want to drop bombs. So I decided to lock through. I get down there at 9 o'clock roughly, and I went right to a spot that I hadn't fished yet. And I pulled in. It was a little bit deeper. I knew there were some laydowns over there, and right off the bat, I see a stump under the water. Didn't know it was there. And I'm like, oh, wow. 25, matter of fact, this rod right here, 25-pound line, 7.3 Pro Series rod. Pitch it up there, pull the bait once by the stump, and it goes, thunk. And this is what happens. Come on out there, dude. Oh my gosh, it's a big one. It's a big one, dude. Oh my gosh. I need help, please. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Is he off? He's off. Oh my gosh, 4-pounder. He just got off. Son of a gun, dude. All right, so that was crazy, right? What happened was that stump, I had no idea, was hollow underneath. So when I pitched the bait up there, fish bit the bait, ran through the middle of the stump, and when I set the hook was on the other side of the stump. I'm fighting it. I can't get him out. My line's wedged into the stump. The fish is jumping. I'm trying to get the power poles to come down right by the stump. I'm trying to figure out what to do. And I'm thinking in my mind, I got 25-pound line, so I'm not too worried about it. And I even did ask for help. And by the way, I read some of the comments, and just so you know, my co-angler was a great co-angler that day. No fault to him at all on this fish and losing this fish, because he was actually, from that boat ride, had a bunch of his lures stuck into his tackle bag. So he was laying on the floor of the boat trying to unhook these baits. And so he didn't even know that I'd even hooked a fish. I don't think he even heard me, because when it was all said and done, I turned around, I'm like, dude, did you see how big that thing was? And he's like, he didn't even see it. So he didn't hear me, he didn't see me, and I couldn't use a net, and Bassmaster rules, no nets are allowed. So, you know, I was just kind of evaluating what to do, and as I went down to grab the fish jumped up and jumped real hard in that slack, and that line was locked up on that stump. It just broke it. It just broke it. I mean, 25-pound line doesn't break often. Now, I did not retie from the day before. I didn't use that particular rod on a lot of things because I was on the swim baits and the moving baits, but I didn't retie. So my fault. my fault. 100% my fault, everything. Like I should have, like looking back, A, I should have retied. B, I should have just trolling motored up there, got down on my chest and landed that fish somehow. If I would have, it would have put me in check range and I would have got out of there with a check in my pocket and even better points. But fish is lost. I had one in the live well, lose a 4-pounder, and I'm like, okay, I got to shake this off. But the encouraging thing for me was that it was on logs. It was on a stump. So I'm thinking, where can I go to find more of these? And I remember seeing a few stumps along, you know, as I fished around that week. So I started running them, and boom, catch another keeper, boom, catch another keeper. Next thing you know, I'm up to 4 keepers. It's time to go. I run back up the lake, lock through, run back into my little creek, get out there on that flat, find those submerged stumps and a couple brush piles, throw out there, boom, boom, catch 2 more nice fish. And there it is right there. Nice little bag of fish, weighed almost 13 pounds. I think 12 and a half actually, 12.9, something like that. And went from virtually last place in the tournament all the way up to 56th place. And so that was super, super good. I felt good about it. Even though it wasn't a check, even though it wasn't obviously the top 12 or even contention to win, being able to rebound in my mind from a devastating day, a day that just took a lot out of me, to a good limit where I can move back up in the points. And that finished me out right now. So far, I'm in 6th place overall. 6th place overall, so that I'm very much alive in my bid to make the elites, which I'm excited about. And the rest is history. Now we get to move on to the next event in Lake Oneida up in New York. It's going to be a lot of fun, smallmouth and largemouth. I'm actually looking forward to that event tremendously. And again, guys, be sure to check out Bassmaster.com if you want to get in as a co-angler in that event. They have some spots open, but you need to jump on there and check it out right now. So huge shout out to all of you guys. Thank you so much. Huge shout out to all of my sponsors. And again, check out these new rods. Favorite Fishing came out with a whole new line of rods, the Pro Series, and these are rods that we specifically, myself, Andy Morgan, B-Lat, Zach Burge, the list goes on, designed these rods just for you guys. So these are our tournament rods. I love them. And I think that's it. So thank you. Drop a comment down below because you never know. We might be doing some more giveaways. So thank you for all of the support, guys. And we've got more videos coming your way soon. We'll see you. Bam!